we're going to discuss what it is tableau. Tableau is a platform that you can basically read and actually create, in other words, visualizations of a graphics for Excel. That's the simple and easiest way to understand what it is tableau and how it's going to work when it's referring to Excel. Basically, what it does is just translate all the information that has Excel and make it as a graphics. So today I'm going to use a file which is a BI analysis dataset, which was the information that it was just provided by the professor, and so we will be able to do our tasks today. So right now what I will do is that I will go ahead and just go to file and then open, and then just go and select BI analysis dataset. This was the information that it was just provided by my partner Dave, which is the one of the group members that provides me or curate the information for this presentation. Right now, there you will be able to see all the information regards the um, actually the workflow that we will need to do, and basically you will see that at this point there is some fields like order date, region, manager, salesman, item, and units, unit price, and unit amount. If you notice, each of them has a separate indications. At this point, for the order date, it indicates like a calendar. If it is a region, it will just indicate the letters ABC, which is just text. And if it is, for example, units, it would be indication of numbers. So it would be how many it was just basically sale, and how much it was the total sale. So far, we will just go back to a the worksheet, and we will just start doing the multiple tasks that we were required by the professor at this time. So the first step that we will need to do is it will be the sales trend over time. So whether the order date is on the X and the sales amount is on the Y. So the order date, the way that I just easily remember, it will be under the rows as is in here, and the columns, it will be for the sales amount, which is the sales amount. It has an error, so we need to fix that and put it completely as the sales amount and not just sales. So it would be easier to remember about the informations regard. So we just edit it and then just put it the way that it is. To edit the name, you just need to rename it, and you will be able to see it. So the sale amount, I will go to the column, and the order date is under the year. So at this point, when you just do that, you just put under the sales amount in the columns and the rows the order date. What it will just provide you is all the information for the year of sale from 2018 2019, and it will give you a graph. Most of the times it will give you a graph, but basically here, as the professor requires, is a line chart. So we will need to look for a line chart that can provide us all that information as it should be. And at this point, you will be able to see that it just came here as a basically a chart, a line chart. If you want more details, you can just click on detail. Or if you wanted to change the appearance, you can go into label appearance. You can change the size of the words. You can put it like a little bit darker, or if you wanted to have it like underlined, it will do that and it will show. But for this particular case, I would just leave it as it was. So I won't affect the graph. So if you need a label, for example, it would tell you like show as a label. So you will be able to see all the way through and how much it was. If you don't want it, it's just unclick it and it will just stick as it is. If you want, in other hand, you wanted to have it, for example, as a for region, you can have it as a mark, and it will give you two options for the east, west, which is the two options that we have. But if you wanted to remove it, otherwise, you just need to remove it, and it will just go away and stay as it was. Now, for changing the actual title, you just need to double click and just change the title. And at this point, it will be a sales trend over time. So you can put just sales trend over time. And then you can just hit OK or apply. It won't affect at the very end. It just put it as it is. So sales trend over time, 2018, 2019. They're above the years that it is just on the data file that we were just trying to work with, or we're working right now, and then the amount that it was just basically sold at that time. So, and select the year, and then you will see that I put all the years until the very last option. This is 2012 at this point, and then you will have the global sales, which it will be here. So that means that basically it will just create a graphic within the cells and the global sales, which is the sum of everything, and the year. It will just tell you exactly how it was the year sales and how it was within the actual improvement, if there is any kind of improvement, and how much it was. Now, if you wanted to see it by genre, you just put it on here under labels. And under labels, what it will do is that actually we just put all the information as it should be. For example, if it is a sports, it would, if it is music, if it is shooter, if it is racing, if it is adventure. If you want to change the color from it, you just need to actually select under labels. Sorry, right here under general, you will see color, and then you will see all the colors have changed. But also, it will show you in detail how much it was a global sales and which year it was the highest peak. And this at this point, it was just the sports and action, which is the sections that it has for the sales over time as a line chart. So if you want to change the name and put it as a, you just need to double click and put the name as a sales trend over time. Sales trend over time. So you will be able to see it as a main title, you just erase this part and then you just can hit OK or apply and it will just change it right here. If you otherwise don't want to see that, you just can select the option to hide it. So you will be able to hide it and see actually just the informations on the graph, but not the title. If you wanted to see it again, otherwise you wanted to just actually hit a button on here, and then it will just tell you if you would like to have the option back. Or you can just easily go and select Ctrl Z and you will be able to see it with no issues, so you don't have to go all the way through the same process. Now, if you would like to change the size of it, you just select this and you will be able to see it like this. I said how much the cells it will go through, if it is less than that or more. And the labels, you can also just see if you might mark the labels, it was the max or the minimum and the maximum. It will say within the table or within the panel. It just depends, but I would just leave it as a all, which is the very important option on here. So you will see that the most of the cells go for sports and for 2006 and action in 2009. You can select one of them and you actually can see that it's just light up this one, or you can select this one, and when you just click it you will be able to do multiple options if you wanted to skip it only this one, or if you wanted to exclude it. If you exclude it, it would just take it out, but if you just wanted it back, you just hit Ctrl Z and it will just return. Alright, so let's just move on to the next option, which is a bar chart. The bar chart is just we wanted to go in a different sheet, so we would just open a new worksheet, and basically what we will do is that we would just take it all the time. We will use all these informations from the tables and the measure names. The measure names, it will be basically the informations that we require, or the measure values, which is the numbers, and then the tables, it will be the names. So now, on this particular bar chart, you will see the region and the x-axis, and then the sales amount on the y-axis. So what we will do is to just select the option for region. Now what I want like to do is a start bar. For the start bar chart, it would be the manager on the x axis. So I'll need to have another worksheet. So I would put the manager and salesman on the axis, just in here. And the manager, and then we have the uh, sales amount, which is in the Y. So we will just put the sales amount the Y, which is in the columns, and you will be able to see all the information to whom for this example. You will be able to see the name of the salesman and then the manager and who did the most. You can sort it out from top to bottom who was the most and who was the least one. But at this time, this graphic it needs to be in a stack bar chart. So in order to do that, we need to just try to look it up for the one that says Stark bar chart, and here is where you can see the Stark bar chart. You will be able to see all the details. You will be able to change the colors if you like to change the colors. If that's the case, you can filter if you would like to filter. You will be able to actually um, use if there is a color that you don't like, you can just change it and then just it will just apply and so on. Underneath, you will be able to see the name, even though that you're unable to see it completely. If you wanted to see it completely, you just use the little bit arrow and you will be able to see all of them at once. You'll be able to see Douglas and the salesman in the middle. So the sales amount it was 6,636, and the salesman it was Michael, and the manager it was Douglas. Then for the 100,000, it was the salesman it was 48,204. The salesman it was Karen, and manager for this person was just Douglas. So if you like to basically modify, as I mentioned before, any other options in within the charts, such as a name, or if you like to actually have the size change, you just can go here and do that. You can change the size, you can change the, if you wanted to have it bold, you can have it bold. If you would like to have it underline, you will be able to make it underline. So that's within your choices. Within the title, as I mentioned before, you just press it or double click it, and then you will be able to change it as the request that is for the stack bar. It is the salesman by manager and salesman. So you will just type it in sales salesman by manager, and you will be able to see that how just change it on the platform by itself, salesman by manager, and you will see it as it should be. Next option it will be the tree map. So what I would do is that I would just open a new worksheet. As I was to do a worksheet, you just press here, and this worksheet it will have the tree map. So it would be an item displayed as a tree map blocks. Sales amount determine the size of the blocks. So it would be sales by item. So you will put the item over here. Sorry, over here. And then the over here you will be able to see the other option, which is the sales amount. So the sales amount you will need to select it from always from this side, and then just put it over here so you will be able to see all the details. But as is required as a tree map, you will need to look over here which one is the tree map. So you will select the tree map, whether which one do you think is the tree map as it is called. It would show just right under. So for example, it's tree maps. You will see that says for tree maps, try, and it would show you what it is. So for example, this guy, it was television, which is the big one, and it was 743,000 with 958 that it was sold. And then it follows by the home theater, and finally was cell phones, video games, and at the very end it was desks. So basically, just to change the name, you just click in there, and then just put sales by item, and you will be able to see it. Sales by item. You just put it, and then just erase the shit name, and then just select OK, and then you will change it. Right here, just you open a new sheet, and then I would just select the option for a scatter plot. This will be the following graphic, and on this graphics, it will be required to have the unit under the X, which it will be um, for me, it's just like you, if you remember math, you will be able to see, for me, this is always X, and then this is always Y. So that's the reason why I always use the rows as an X, and then the columns as the Y's. So it's easy to remember, so you don't get confused. Um, so it would be right now on scatter plot, where it shows the sales amount versus the unit sold. So under the X, it would be the sell amount. So we will do the sales amount on here, and under the Y, it would be the um, sales amount. Sorry, my mistake. So under the X, it would be units. The best thing is that you can move it around and it won't affect, but it would just move it from one side to the other. So for the X, it would be the units. So I'll put the units under the X and the cells under the Y. Sorry about that. And under the Y, it would show any individual cells. Which in this case, it was a unit 2,117 units. So if you put the unit price, our final option is a table that includes top 10 salesmen, and that would be including sales amount, salesman, and units sold. And to do that, I just put salesman based on me, salesman, and sales amount I would just look for sales amount. Here we have the sales amount, and we can sort from top to bottom or from bottom to top. I would just do it like this, and you will be able to see it, who sells the most. And sorry about that. You will put units sold and the salesman and the sales amount, which the sales amount and the sales unit, it will be on the same field, so you will be able to see it. And I just put it as a sort. I would just sort them, so it would be the best way possible to see it without getting confused. And the amount, and basically that would be it on how to use the blow and just show data as a graphics. But to make sure that is a table as the professor just required, you would just go from a bars to tables, and then it will show you exactly how it should be. So I hope that everybody understand a little bit more about Tableau. And if you have questions, you can also ask the professor, so he will be more than happy to provide you more in deep details about it.